Hey guys, it's been a while. It's been a long time since I've uploaded a video or made any sort of update for you. As of the recording of this video, it is January 1st, 2021. So yeah, it's been a minute. I obviously didn't keep any of the promises I made you. And once again, I have gone for a long time without doing any YouTube stuff as opposed to what I said I was going to do. So yes, this is another explanation video. I do have a lot of explaining to do. There are a number of reasons for my lack of activity, and I plan to lay them all out for you in this video. Now, I don't know if any of you guys are still out there. I don't know if anyone still cares, if any of the people that were actively following me are still waiting for an update. I mean, it's been so long. I wouldn't be surprised if this channel was completely dead by this point. But if people still care, or if there are some of you still waiting on me to come out and do something, if there's anyone still out there, this one is for you. Because you deserve to know what's been going on with me and why I've been inactive for the past 2 years. Why I never started the new channel I promised. I owe you an explanation at the very least. That being said, if you're watching this video and you're just here for entertainment and you have no idea what I'm talking about because of a lack of context, just leave. This video is not for you, and you won't find what you're looking for here. But for the few of you that still care about me and what's going on in my life, this is long overdue. So here we go. And if this video sounds scripted, that's because it is. I decided to write out all of my thoughts because I have a lot to say, and I don't want to forget anything. Also, I won't be showing my face in this video because I don't have a camera, but I do have some Splatoon footage here so that you can have something to look at while I talk. With that out of the way, let's get started. So, before I get into the meat and potatoes as to why I haven't uploaded in 2 years, I feel like I need to give a bit of a recap of what's gone on to kind of give a bit of context and a refresher for those who are kind of fuzzy on what happened. So, back in middle school, I did the whole Whiteboy beatboxing video that got popular, and from that popularity, I teamed up with some buddies during high school to officially start a YouTube channel with consistent uploads. As you know, this channel was called Cat in the Box, and it is the same channel that you are watching this video on. So, I worked on this group for a while, or I worked with this group rather, but things went south. Working on the channel really just brought the worst out of everybody. It was a toxic environment, so I just left. I was absent from the YouTube scene for about 3 or 4 years, and during that time, my friends continued to make videos for the channel without me. As many of you know, I came back in 2017 after a very long hiatus to try out YouTube again and do Whiteboy beatboxing content a second time around. By this point, the Cat in the Box channel was in a decline, and my friends had not been able to get the channel off the ground. They were running out of options. So they decided to start an entirely new channel from scratch, which they called Cat in the Box Studios. Meanwhile, me and one of my friends, who many of you know as Jacob, my editor/videographer, became partners and renamed the original Cat in the Box channel to Whiteboy Drops the Beat, as many of you remember, which is the channel that you are watching this video on right now. So it started off as Cat in the Box, and then we changed its name to Whiteboy Drops the Beat. If any of you have been around for long enough, then you already know this. Jacob and I worked together to make the newest Whiteboy and beatboxing videos that you see on this channel. We did this somewhat consistently for around 6 to 8 months before I decided to quit making beatboxing content once again. There were a number of reasons why I chose to do this, which I went over in one of my most recent videos called I'm Done Being Whiteboy. I will put a card in the top right corner for you so you can check that out if you'd like. But the primary reason why I decided to quit is because I just grew bored of being the Whiteboy character and making beatboxing content. I felt that there just wasn't a lot of room to work creatively. I officially quit towards the end of 2018, and as some of you are aware of, I announced a new project I was working on called Uncle Andy, which would be an entirely new channel I was going to start. It would be a gaming channel where I would take on a new persona. I would play games, provide commentary, do reviews, and talk about the gaming industry. And it would be a totally new channel started from scratch. However, I never got around to actually doing this, as many of you know. So that brings us to the beginning of 2019, where Jacob and I made the podcast video that is the most recent video on this channel, save for this one. Since then, I have not made any videos or done anything related to YouTube, so that is roughly everything that happened since the inception of Whiteboy Drops the Beat. And now we're gonna get into some actual reasons as to why I've been gone. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, and all of you now have at least some context as to what's gone on, I'm gonna get into the details for why I have been inactive so long and why I will continue to be. Surprise, surprise. First, though, I want to explain why none of my videos have comments enabled. This is something that happened like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. I didn't do this myself. This was not my doing. YouTube did this without my consent, and they did so with a lot of other channels on the platform. A lot of you are probably aware of this, but a few years back there was a big situation involving the safety of children. This has been an issue for a while now. Many of you know about the COPPA law that was put in place for YouTube and other websites at the start of 2020 to prevent kids from being exposed to advertising and whatnot. That is not what happened to my channel exactly, because I have been compliant with COPPA, but it is a similar issue. A few years ago, there was a huge situation involving child predators using videos featuring young children as material, as well as other nasty things going on involving stuff like that. A lot of the nasty things, though, were taking place in the comment section of those videos. I think you can see where this is going. This was obviously a horrible thing going on, and YouTube needed to do something about it because too much time had gone by without them taking any action. So, they did take action to stop this stuff from happening and keep children safe. However, YouTube did what YouTube does, and they turned off the comments of all videos involving kids. There were also some other regulations and rules put in place, and you guys know that COPPA became a thing later on, which put even more regulations on top of this, but I'm focusing on the comment sections being turned off for now. So this is what happened to my channel, because as many of you know, several of the videos on my channel feature myself as a minor, so it makes sense for them to turn off the comments on those videos. And I am totally fine with YouTube taking the precautionary measures that they took. But here's where things start to get kind of annoying. Not only has YouTube been cracking down on videos that have kids in them, but they have also been cracking down on content that might possibly have something to do with children. And as you know, YouTube's algorithms can be a bit inaccurate at times. So I guess YouTube thinks that my content falls into this high-risk category, so all of the videos on my channel have had comments turned off. I think this has something to do with the fact that the word white boy is in the title of many of my videos, and that exact word is also in the title of the channel. I guess the word boy could be seen as having to do with children and minors, so that may have been it. I am also in every single video on the channel, and I look extremely young for my age. All of my most recent videos feature me from the ages of 19 and 21, which is obviously older than 18, but I can see if I appear to look like a minor. I have always looked young for my age and have been mistaken for someone younger before. This is something that I've dealt with all my life. It would make sense for YouTube's algorithms or moderators to mistake me for a child, I guess. So I guess all of the content on this channel is associated with children, according to YouTube. So that's what happened to the comment sections on this channel. And I wouldn't be surprised if this video were to suffer the same fate as well. So, if any of you have anything you want to say to me before that happens, you might want to do it quickly. Now, many of you are thinking that I should just contact YouTube and get this misunderstanding sorted out. I could do that, but honestly, I don't want to go through the effort because, as I've stated before, I have no intention of using this channel any further. The new project that I said I was working on would be an entirely new channel, started from scratch, so if and when that happens, I will let you know. As for this channel, I'm not really going to do anything with it, so I'm just going to let it sit. So that explains that. Okay, now for the reason why you're here. Time for me to explain why I've been gone for so long and why the Uncle Andy project never happened. So, my most recent video was uploaded in February of 2019, which was nearly 2 years ago from the recording of this video. There are several reasons why I never came back. It was late 2018 when I decided to do the Uncle Andy project, but I knew that I wanted to have full autonomy in how I did it, so I had to purchase some much-needed equipment to be able to do that. So I decided to delay the start of the project to earn the money I needed to get this equipment. It was early 2019 when I finally saved up enough cash to buy the equipment. But my friend Jacob, who many of you know, was extremely busy during this period, so we decided to delay the project again to get to a point where both of us had the time to work on it. It wasn't until spring of 2019 that we started to actively work on the project, and this is where things started to fall apart. We spent some time setting up fundamental things for the Uncle Andy channel, things that I felt we needed to establish before we started making videos. Not only that, but we were also spending time on teaching me how to run a YouTube channel completely independently, which I had never done before then. Jacob had more experience in this than I did, so he was essentially showing me the ropes. On this project, I would be the primary creator, while Jacob would take a more supportive role, which means I would have more responsibility. And this was my own creative project, so that was fair. So for a few months, we were basically doing pre-production stuff. And since Jacob was so busy all the time, we could only work on it so often. However, before we could even get a single video out, something happened. Now, I won't go into detail because most of this stuff is personal and I don't want to air out my dirty laundry on the internet, but I will say this. Jacob and I had somewhat of a falling out. Now, it wasn't as simple as creative disagreements or anything like that. There was more to it. We had issues with each other before, throughout the years. We've known each other for quite some time, and it was just a lot of things building up that culminated in he and I going our separate ways as far as YouTube and business endeavors are concerned. So he left, and went off to pursue a new project of his, and I was left with Uncle Andy to do on my own. I won't say exactly what happened, and Jacob and I have moved past it now, but I certainly don't trust him or respect him enough to ever work with him again. So there's that. So there I was, by myself, with a project that I hadn't even started. I will say that this event severely discouraged me, and my motivation to continue the project took a complete nosedive. At this point, it was around summer of 2019, and I had still not started the Uncle Andy channel. During this time, I was asking myself questions, reevaluating myself, and second-guessing everything. I will confess that one of the primary reasons why I wanted to do YouTube was so that I could work on a project together with my friends. The Whiteboy channel wasn't right for me because I was never happy doing it, and now I had a project that I could potentially be happy with, but nobody who wanted to work on it with me. I guess I can't have my cake and eat it too. So I was thinking, if I have no one to do this project with me, and that was one of the main appeals of doing YouTube for me, then is it even worth doing anymore? Should I just call it quits? Is doing YouTube by itself enough for me to continue on my own? Not only that, but is it worth putting in all the time and effort to start a channel from scratch? Do I even care enough about it? Also, is doing a gaming channel even viable in 2019? Would I be able to get it off the ground? Would I have the time to work on it by myself with everything else going on in my life? So, as you can see, I spent a lot of time thinking about this and asking myself these questions over and over again, which delayed the start of the Uncle Andy channel even further. I was also struggling to figure out what I wanted to do with my life as far as a real career is concerned, because obviously, if you couldn't notice, YouTube wasn't really working out. Needless to say, I was going through an existential crisis, and that was pretty much how I spent the summer of 2019. But then, summer came to an end, and I went back to college after a 1.5 year long hiatus. Yes, real life was beginning to kick in, and I needed to focus on school and what I wanted to do with my life and all of that. I finally chose a major and became a full-time student at my local university. Although I still had YouTube in the back of my mind, I really needed to switch my life around. Sitting around and moping wasn't going to do me any good, and I needed to become more proactive and productive with myself. So I set to going to school and working normal jobs to earn money on the side. I also started thinking about what I would do for a career and talking with professionals about that. I will say that going to the university has given me purpose and something to do. It's been good for me, and it's helped me to grow as a person. Unfortunately, it's also the reason why I never went back to YouTube, and why I probably won't for quite some time. Going to school that first semester in fall 2019, my classes were very demanding. Not to mention I was juggling a job and a social life on top of this, so I didn't have the time to run a YouTube channel. Since then, it's been more or less the same, and I still have more school to go. Sure, there have been periods of downtime during the summer months and times I've been out, but going to university has shown me that depending on what I do for a living, I may not have the time to do YouTube on the side. So the primary reason why I never came back to YouTube is because why would I start a channel that I would only have to stop once I get a full-time job anyways? This may not be the case, but I've been holding off until I start my career to really see if YouTube is something I can do alongside my main source of income. Sure, there's no pressure, and I could start and stop doing YouTube anytime I want and set my own schedule. But if I'm going to start a channel, I would rather do so when I'm able to make consistent uploads. I hope you understand. And at this point in my life, that just isn't possible. And I'm waiting to see if it ever will be. So that's how things have been for me ever since the end of 2019. No longer am I in a depressive state of existential crisis. Okay, that phase passed. I've been going to school. I've been working. I've been spending time with friends and making new ones. I've been living my life, and I can say that it's been great. I'm becoming an adult. I'm growing up, and I've become a new person now. So I guess you could say there is a positive resolution to all this, even though YouTube and the Uncle Andy project are kind of still up in the air. As far as that goes, we'll just have to see, guys. I'm still unsure if doing YouTube is still something I want right now. I don't know if I ever said this in a video, but I have developed a passion other than YouTube. I want to be a voice actor. It's been something I've been researching, thinking about, and preparing for, and it's something that I think I really want to do. And who knows? Maybe I could be a YouTuber, a voice actor, and do my day job to support all this stuff all at the same time. And honestly, I may never do the Uncle Andy channel. Maybe I'll come back one day and do something totally different and surprise you guys. But listen, we'll just have to see what happens, honestly. So I guess that's everything. All of the reasons why I've been gone so long, why I never came back, and why the Uncle Andy project never started, and why I'm still going to be on hiatus. Of course, 2020 rolled around, and this past year has been more of the same for me as far as what I've already told you. You know, except for the fact that a global pandemic happened, and that's been a whole other thing that's added layers of limitations, hardships, and danger to all of our lives, and not just me. This year has definitely been rough for everybody, and I do hope that you've all been doing well, staying safe, and doing what you're supposed to be doing. But anyways, guys, I'm really sorry if any of you are disappointed by this. If I remember correctly, there were some of you that were looking forward to some Uncle Andy gaming content. I mean, I don't know if any of you still care or if you've moved on, but still, I promised something that some of you were excited for, and I didn't deliver. So for that, I do apologize. Well, that's about it. To recap, the reasons for the absence are a broken partnership, a depressive existential crisis, and life just getting in the way. I honestly don't know if or when I'll ever be back. Now, I do bet that some of you are wondering why it took me so long to send you this message. Well, I really don't know, other than the fact that I was just hoping that I would eventually come back and be able to have consistent uploads and everything would be okay. But I finally reached a point now where I need to face the reality that I may not come back, and I need to confess that to you guys. I also guess it's because I didn't know how I would approach this, so I guess I just put it off until now. That is something I should apologize for as well. I'm really sorry for not giving you guys a timely update when I was able to. I should have done this much sooner. But I don't know if anyone has watched this far, if anyone still cares enough to even watch this video at all, but if you've gotten this far, then wow, you must really care. So I guess now that I've reached the end of the video here, this last message is for you guys then. Thank you so much. I immensely appreciate all of the support you guys have shown me over the past several years. I know that you haven't been able to reach me because the comments were turned off, but maybe that won't be the case for this video. So maybe we can all gather in the comments and say our goodbyes. If there's anything you guys want to tell me, you can do it there. Or if you've got a longer message you want to send me, my email is in the business inquiries section on the About page of this channel. So there's that information if you didn't already know. But if the inevitable happens and YouTube takes the comments down, if you would, hit the like button to show me that there are people that have seen this and appreciate it. And that's not even to support the channel. Don't get me wrong. It's only to let me know that you've heard me, and that would be great. You know, guys, this whole YouTube thing has really been a life-changing experience. I've learned so many things, and I've been exposed to awesome aspects of life that I never would have if none of this happened. And that is no small part thanks to you. You guys have changed my life. Your encouragement and support over the years has been an absolute blessing. 9 years ago, when my first video was uploaded, I never expected this thing to get as big as it has. It's been one hell of a ride. I know that I was never a consistent YouTuber, and I wasn't around very often, but it's become a big part of who I am, and it always will be. I just hope that I have had as much of a positive impact on you as you have had on me. Again, if any of you still care, if any of you are still out there, thank you so much. And even to the people that don't care anymore and have already moved on and probably aren't even watching this video right now, thank you anyways for showing me support in any capacity. Thank you. I hope you're all doing well and taking care of yourselves. Please reach out. Tell me what you think. Tell me what's on your minds. I'd love to hear what any and all of you have to say. So thanks for watching. I know I might be back someday, and I don't want to say goodbye. I'm finding it hard to anyways, so I won't. So I'll leave you with this. See you later, guys. I love you.